I just got back from a airline logbook review and it went surprisingly well. I learned a lot by doing this, and I was so happy I did it the way that I decided to go about getting my logbook organized, as I had no questions and I had nothing worrying me about my logbook once I gave it in front of the person for them doing it. And I'm going to tell you what I did and how your logbook review can go well based off of what I did to make mine easier so that yours can be just as smooth as mine was. Let's get into it.
I'm Jack, a commercial pilot in CFI. Flying has always been a passion of mine, and I love being able to share that experience as a pilot and instructor for those who are curious about soaring through the sky. I hope you enjoy today's video, that you fasten your seatbelt, and that you enjoy the ride.
First off, I'm going to change out of this real quick because this is too hot for me today.
3 days later.
All right, it's been a little bit. Changed, cleaned my room up a little bit, but now we're back, and today's video is going to be about the logbook review, specifically how you should clean your logbook up if you use a paper logbook. Why I'm making this video is my logbook review was seamless. It was smooth. There were 12 people in my group, and out of the 12, I was the only one to show up with this. And as a result of that, my logbook review was not even 10 minutes. I kid you not. I was in, they saw my stuff, I grabbed the files, and then I left. I was the second one to go. Everyone else after me, it took them a bare minimum of 15 to almost 20 minutes for each logbook session, simply because people were either disorganized and had to organize their paper logbooks, or they'd have everything together, but they didn't have them tabbed in a way that they wanted me to have it done. This package that I'm about to show you helped me get A, all my stuff tabbed the way I needed to get done, and then B, organize it in a way to where all I had to do was show up and it was right there in front of me. And I kid you not, the guy who did my log review asked 0 questions, and I mean 0. He did not ask me anything outside of my logbook review. The only thing he asked me is the things I was required to bring and the required hours that I needed in my logbook. And all I had to answer was, oh yeah, they're right here, or oh yeah, they're right there, oh yeah, they're in this thing here, and you can just go there. That was how smooth it was, and I had 0 issues with it. So if you are looking to get through your log review with 0 issues, I encourage you to watch this video and listen, as this is a great opportunity. So really quick, this company is called Prosoft Binders. They do legal binders as well as things for lawyers, but they specifically have a pilot logbook thing here that you can actually go and look at yourself to get the package that you need for your specific review. I'm not going to go into the website too much here because that's what you can do when I link the website down below after you're done watching. But today I'm going to show you this actual package in person, where it comes with 3 things. These 3 things are your logbook itself, your paper logbook binders that you need if you need to bring them in, and then a document holder that you have for everything else that you need for the airline you're interviewing with. This package is great because it is all up front with everything. There's nothing that you have to worry about. The only thing you need to do is actually get your logbook together. And the only requirement that you can do with this is that you need to have a digital logbook. And this is where I'll go into why this matters with the first part of this logbook package. So with that being said, hope you enjoy this video, and let's break this thing down as to why it helped and I had no questions asked on my review. So, like I said, this has 3 packages, and the first is the actual binder itself. And I have my GoPro right here to actually show you what that looks like in both perspectives. But you have this logbook. This thing is very nice. It is pristine. It is leather bound. So you are going to go in killing this logbook review if you have this. It is leather bound with 3 hole punches. And you can see right here, there are 3 lines up with all of your logbooks and your pages that you need, which is really cool. So like I said, your logbook needs to be digital for this to work, because what happens is I'll show you with my papers in a second, but when you go through and you tab all your logbooks up and you're like, man, I need to find all these hours, I need to find all these hours, it takes forever to do that. I didn't keep up my paper logbook. I went with the digital version, and my biggest issue was figuring out how to make it printed with all my hours. And luckily, Prosoft was that option that I could just grab the pieces of paper and just put it all out into this binder that they have, which is really cool. And so that's what we'll get into with just kind of all the different parts of it. So you can already see in the GoPro here, there's like a bunch of different tabs, a bunch of different sections right here. Starting with your table of contents. So your Prosoft binder needs to be organized. It needs to be in a way that the logbook interviewer can then look at just the first page and see what exactly he needs to look for. And that's where Prosoft gives you the format and how you need to do it on the website. And then you just go in and do it the way you need to, customizing your logbook based on your electronic EFB that you use to log all your flights. So for mine, I used ForeFlight and I had all my signatures, endorsements in there. So all I needed to do was print it out and make a table of contents the way I needed to make this work. And that's where this is very simplified, very easy to use, because you don't have to worry about knowing where everything is when you can just list it out in a tab and you can see everything in here. So how mine's organized is based on these tabs that they give you. So experience summaries, I chose flight experience with an overall experience report, my flight records, as well as a few maps. Then I got the logbook portion itself, and I'll get to that in a little bit. Then I have my training certificates. So if I had any extra things that I needed to bring, for example, like my LOAs for my flight school with my sim time that I was using for simulated instrument, had those in the back, as well as any other documents that they wanted me to bring with this miscellaneous tab here. And so that's kind of where I'll show you. But that's the table of contents. Experience summaries, I just used the ForeFlight experience summary for all of my hours here, which you can see is totaled as of January 28th, so not too long ago. And on this as well, I made charts because they want to see a personalization of the logbook. They may not look at it for longer than 5 seconds, but the cool thing about this is you get to pick and choose what you want to include with your logbook. So why don't you have some fun with it? And so that's where I put a map of all the areas I've flown and all of the areas that I have with my airplanes and the years, the amount I've flown with the amount of hours I've done, which is really cool. Moving into the next part, I have a milestones tab, and I'll just go through this quick. This is just everything that they need to see regarding your check ride failures and passes, as well as any other thing you want to include. And then from here, I'm just going to kind of scroll through and show you. I have a lot of signatures from a lot of different people. And this is where you need to actually go through and highlight things. So as you can see, I have like almost 200 pages full of logbook stuff, which is really cool. But one of the things that they want to look for with that milestone tabs I showed you is these tabs specifically, right? When I tab something, that's where that milestone thing is there to go look back and to see, hey, what pages are tabbed for certain reasons. And for this one, right, if I go to tab 6 here, my milestone thing, that's my CFII check ride pass. And that was where I was able to go through and make sure that that was in there. Once I did that, I highlight them for easy to see. And then you can just keep scrolling until you find the next one. And that's kind of how this works, which is really cool. Then the only other thing that the logbook is required to have in your digital logbook to paper with what this is you need your endorsements. So you need your experience report with all the hours, you need your logbook with all the hours and everything included with your sign-offs and all your sheets of paper. And then finally, you need the endorsements that are from any single person that's giving you something to sign in your logbook. That's what those are for. And as you can see in the back here, I have an endorsements tab with a whole bunch of other stuff, which is really cool. Then finally, you look at all the different tabs here, right? I was talking about the training certificates tab and the miscellaneous tab. They give you this blank little like finder like sheet thing that you can stuff files in. That's where you want to put like your training certificates, like your radio operator's permit, all of those things that will give you the understanding of where those are in the logbook so that you can show them when they need them. And then once they've looked through everything, they'll verify that they're there. And that's how the logbook review goes with this logbook here, which is really nice. And so this is the first part that you'll get with the Prosoft Binder logbook package. Next up is the inventory bin. So they give you a white or like blank kind of bin that allows you to see everything that your logbooks have. And this is for like inventory. So if you're bringing multiple logbooks to a logbook review, this is going to be where you want to put them. And they explain it to me in a way that where you just say, hey, these are my logbooks I'm using, and then these are the logbooks that I brought just in case you want to see them. And so for me, I have 3 logbooks. I have the digital one as my main because everything is in there for my entire flight experience in my ForeFlight. Then I have 2 and 3 as my backup papers that I always have just in case I lose it for some reason. You always need to have a backup as the FAA doesn't recognize your flight hours unless you have a logbook. Good thing about this too is they give you business cards as well. So they're like white pieces of paper like this. They have your name, they have your pilot certificate, they have your address and everything. So it's really cool. Nice touch to add to this whole thing, but it was very nice for them just kind of look and see, hey, this is my stuff. What I will show you though is my logbooks themselves. So these are my original logs that I had when I was a student pilot. This one is my second one that I had recently because I filled this one out. And if I were to show you why I went with this, you'll see here why this isn't great. You know what I mean? Like if you were to look right here and see like all of the scribbles, you can see in the GoPro as well, it's very messy, right? This is not what you want to show someone. This is what will turn someone off in the sense of they're not going to know who you are anymore. They're trying to verify that you actually have your hours. And if you have a bunch of doodles and scribbles in your logbook, just like I did when I was a student pilot, chances are you might not want to show this to someone, especially to an airline trying to evaluate if you actually did your job of getting your total time that they need you to have. So if you have a bunch of scribbles in there, nothing wrong with that. It's a personal document, but at the same time, that's not going to be something you want to show to people because it's very messy. It's not professional. So that's why I went with Prosoft, because I avoided all this and I didn't have to explain everything that I needed to do because it was all digitally printed in front of me with everything in there, which was great. And then finally, the third and final thing that the Prosoft package comes with is a little leather bound like file holder. It's a button, so you open it up and you can see I have all of these documents inside here that my airline required me to have. And with this thing having two different like tabs in here to sort files, it was easy for me to put like the airline's files in there of what they needed and then my files if they needed to see other things like photocopies, for example. So it was a great way to sort through this, but also again the professionalism aspect of it, because it actually is built for you with your logbook review in your name. That allows you to just say, hey, here's this, I'm going to give you this, that's all you need. Plain and simple. That's what I love about this. And this thing worked like a charm, especially with the logbook back there to validate it. It was smooth. All right, now that you've seen all three of the Prosoft packages that you will get with your logbook review, right? The reason you're going to probably ask yourself next as to why you want to do this is the aspect of how is this all going to go, right? The log review is not something you want to treat as like, hey, I'm going to show up and leave type deal. This is something where the airline is seeing you in a perspective that they haven't seen you yet. You're not going to see these faces at this log review pretty much any time after your career of when you start at the airline, because all these people are going to be the other side. They're not going to be the ones on the line, and they're not going to be the ones that are the face. They're going to be the ones working behind the scenes, making sure you're all caught up and you're all good to go so that you can go to work and go fly the airplane they need you to fly. So as a result, they want you to be professional and they want you to be ready to go, because once they see you here, that is the precedent that they will see whenever they see your name come across their desk and say, oh yeah, that's this guy, or oh yeah, that's this person. That's why the log review is so important. So going in strong and setting a strong precedent with how you present yourself is very key. And that's why this is important, is your logbook is your life. That's the main point. You want to treat your logbook as if it's your entire career in one thing, right? You want it to look nice. You want it to look polished. You want it to come off as a way saying, hey, I'm proud of this. This is what I accomplished, right? You don't want to go in and just throw a bunch of things together and then say, oh yeah, here you go. This is where it all is. And then they'll have to decipher through and figure out where to look in all the pages. That's not what you want to do. They're not after that. And actually that turns them off if you do that. So that's where you want to be organized and be ready to go to explain anything that does come up. But with this package that I'm explaining to you with Prosoft, you don't have to explain anything. You get to customize it the way that makes sense, and it gives you the format that literally eliminates any questions that could ever be asked on your review. And I was probably one of the quickest logbook reviews at this compliance. So if you are in that situation that you need a logbook, you have a digital one, you want to organize it, get it all ready to go, I encourage you, buy this package, and I guarantee you will also have 0 questions asked in your next review. Thank you so much for coming and watching. I hope you enjoyed. This isn't like a typical video that I do, but it was something that I looked online and did not see anything of before, so I figured I'd make something about it just to see if I could help some people out. If you did enjoy and you want to see more content similar to this, you can go down below, subscribe, and like this video. I plan on making more videos here in the future with a bunch of different things going on, including the typical flight videos that I have, so be sure to check those out. If you want to see also I'm on social media, you can go down below as well. Check out my Instagram. I post every now and then on there. And then finally, if you want some free instruction on just a consultation call and where you need to go with your stuff, whether you're a new pilot or you're someone that's looking at aviation, go down below and check out my website. I have a free 30-minute consultation call we can do. And then if you want to learn more or get more personal ground instruction for the needs that you need, go down below and you can book a session with me. We'll work through everything you need to worry about, and we can just get you prepared, feeling confident, ready to go for whatever you want to conquer next. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you all for your support and kindness. It means the world to me, and I can't wait to keep making videos. So I'll see you in the next one. See ya! RIP GoPro!